Bonjour.
Hello! We are back and we have a new show that Jonathan has made me watch. We are stepping into the Netflix Heartbreak High. We're
Yes.
on episode 1. It looks like a 8 episode situation.
Mhm.
So I don't mind any of that carrying on. And Jonathan was excited about it. I think he thought it would be good for me to watch, or I would enjoy this one better. So
Yes.
we shall see. Uh Go ahead, Jonathan.
Absolutely. I just want to say the reason why I feel as though Jennifer will enjoy Heartbreak High a little bit more than Young Royals is because Young Royals was all drama, no comedy, and Heartbreak High is a lot of comedy, a little bit of drama sprinkled in here and there. So I'm sure
Okay.
Jennifer will much rather watching this, and I think she will definitely enjoy it. Heartbreak
We'll
High
see.
is a remake of an Australian TV show that was out in the 90s of the same title. And there are actually two characters in this reboot or this remake or this redo, whatever you want to call it, of Heartbreak High that were in the original series. Darren's father and also Darren's. Well, I'll get to the other character
Oh,
when we get.
okay.
But
Mhm.
we start out with A Marie. She is narrating, and she's going to be narrating for the most part in the series. But she introduces us to herself and her best friend Harper. They met when they were at the age of 5 in elementary school. Harper was drawing a crocodile, and A Marie says, "Your crocodile's shit," and that's what started their friendship. I thought that was a really
And
cool.
didn't she throw up a middle finger in response?
She did.
Lovely.
I thought that was an amazing introduction to their friendship, and it just showed us that what we're in for. We're in for a comedy here, y'all. Okay.
Absolutely.
And did this kind
Absolutely.
of lighten your heart to be like, okay, this is where we're starting off. This looks like it's going to be good.
I thought that was cute. This I said okay. But one thing I liked about it was the pace. The pace of everything going on in the show period for this whole episode. I did enjoy the pacing of it for
It's
sure.
moving right along. It's moving
Moving.
right
Moving. Now,
along.
if Young Royals was like that, I think I would have been able to palate just a little bit better.
Yeah, because Young Royals is quite slow. It is quite slow, and it drags. When I
Along,
tell
it's
you
like,
it drags,
now we
honey.
don't care about this. Okay, let
Okay,
me move
like
on.
even though it's 6 episodes per season, like it still drags, honey. Okay, but
Somehow, and it's only like just a little bit less than an hour for each episode, but like dag nabbit. Okay, go ahead.
like each season is like maybe like 2 or 3, maybe a month long. Like that's really it. But anyways, so A Marie she goes into
She's
description of
gorgeous.
their, huh?
She's gorgeous. I wonder what her nationality is.
I do too. I'm not even gonna guess, but she is a beautiful.
That's what we're not gonna do.
Oh,
I ain't
okay.
got time for that.
But yeah, everyone in this series is very attractive, at least
Very good
in
looking.
my opinion.
I
And they
agree.
all do look like their age. That's the age that they are, except for one character who I will explain a little bit later. But A Marie goes on about how her and Harper talk about everybody in the school in high school, and they create what's called an incest map. And this incest map chronicles the sexual dealings of everyone in the school based off of rumor or assumptions or nothing actually concrete. Like, they really don't know. They're not in these people's beds when they're doing what they're doing, but
Child, let me tell you something. It's so true though.
it
When you're in
is.
a school, when you're in a marching band, when you're in all these different things where it's co-ed, where there's men and women, child, you get to see how everybody done did it with everybody up in that space. I thought it was kind of funny.
It was, and it's a good idea. Like that's something that I've never heard of, but it sounds like something a high schooler would do.
Of
Write an
course.
incest map. And she also lets us know that she has a crush on Dusty. I forgot what his real name is. What real name is? I really don't know. I guess it doesn't matter because they always call him Dusty. But Dusty is like the finest dude in school. Like he's like the cutest boy in school, at least in my opinion.
Rather, he is rather attractive, tall, dark, and handsome. I'm looking at him right now.
Very much
Thick,
so.
voluptuous eyebrows.
Okay,
And then the hair just
the
works for
hair.
him. He has long hair, not too long, just right around here, nice little cute cut. And look, he's a good looking man.
Yes, and I feel like it adds to his aesthetic because I'm imagining him with the short hair, and like he might not be as noticeable as he is with the long hair.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Amory, she's about to get picked up for the first day back at school. Sasha and Missy, who are two of her best friends, they pick her up in this old hoopty, honey.
It is
And
not exactly a hoopty, okay? To be honest, if it were mine, I'd be proud of it. It's a decent vehicle, but it's old though.
it is very old. And so these guys from this other school who wear uniforms, they stop beside them and they give them some shade or whatever. And so Amory throws her iced coffee at them
I love
and
that.
yes, and then calls them rapists. I don't, oh, I guess I shouldn't have said that word on YouTube, but calls
Oh
them the
Lord,
R
sorry.
word. But
Yes.
I don't know why she used that term, but anyways, so Amory finally gets to school. Everybody's back. I'm not sure if it was either summer break or winter break, but everyone's back. And she mentions the fact that she's into Dusty. Dusty actually says hi to her and asks her how her holiday was. And she kind of blushes or whatever. And because she's so distracted, she runs into Darren and Quinny. And
Darren.
I go ahead.
Darren.
What about him?
Oh, I was just about to I thought you said Daryl. I was just saying Darren.
No. I said Darren. So,
Oh, okay.
so Darren and Quinny, they are best friends. They're honestly my favorite characters of this show. Two of my favorite characters of this show. And so Quinny was like, oh, geez, she bumped into us, and Darren is very, 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 very offended by this. And she was like, maybe she didn't notice us, and Darren literally says, "Look at the material, honey. Okay, we are unicorns, honey. We are the ish, honey. Yes, I love Darren. I really do.
He
I
is
love Darren.
great.
So the incest map is found out. Somebody finds the incest map, and this is causing trouble with everyone. So we find out that Darren gave Ant a little. Go ahead, Jennifer.
I just got a little question. Why in the world would they put it on a wall? Yes, I'm very sure that it's like a space that not everybody uses, but eventually somebody gonna see it.
Right. And it's like, why would they do this? The only reason that I can think of is because they wanted it to be found out. But then Amory seems so shocked when it is found
Yeah.
in this random stairwell that nobody uses. So it makes sense that they did it in a random stairwell that nobody uses. That makes it seem like they didn't want anybody to see it. But then again, what was the reason for the incest map to begin with? Like,
I get the reason for the incest map
what do you
to
think the reason
have
for
it.
the incest map was?
I don't know. That's just for me and to me, it seems like just something fun to do, just to chronicleize all the stuff that we've heard. But I wouldn't put it on a wall. You know where I'll put it on? I'd
What?
rather have, do like a Regina George Burn book, something like that. It'll
Yes.
be a lot more difficult to find. Like somebody will like have to dime you out about the book if, that was the case. But all they had to do was just accidentally stumble upon this wall.
Right, and a book is more accessible because you go home, you can't
Yeah.
go get back to the map at school unless you ask your parents to take you to the school to look at the map. So, anyways, we also find out that Sasha has. We also find out that Sasha scissored Greta, and her ex Missy is standing right next to her. She was like, "Wait a minute, did you do that before or after we broke up?" And Sasha's like, "I don't know. I don't know, child. This
Uh,
incest map
I don't
is
remember.
is causing issues, and clearly Sasha gets around because there was a couple more names around her name too that had
She was
arrows
running around
pointing
and getting
to
it.
it. It is what it is. But Sasha's a get 'em girl, so it is what it is. Anyway, so
Okay.
the principal calls an assembly. How do you feel about this principal with her first words being, I am a woke woman, okay, and I enjoy sex just as much as the next person?
As
What were your first impressions of the principal?
as soon as she says I'm a woke woman, I knew she was gonna be a problem.
In what way?
In what way? It's like it's a level of not being in tune with what's going on. It's a level of
She's
not
behind.
being aware of who you are in the space and feeling like you have to be like the literal children to be accepted in the space. It doesn't have to be that. And it's like all I could do is just sit there and roll my eyes.
She's trying too hard. That's pretty much
Way too hard. Like,
what
no,
she's saying. But I thought it was hilarious when she said, "I'm a woke woman." I said, "I'm gonna love this character. She is pure comedy. I'm gonna love her."
mm-mm. This episode, I was not here for her. I'll tell you why. Keep on going.
Oh, okay. And so then Harper comes in. And when we see Harper in the earlier scenes, she has long blonde hair. But when she walks into the assembly, she has cut her hair. She's got a buzz cut.
Buzz
And Amy,
cut.
and Anne-Marie, because Anne-Marie had been asking Sasha and Missy, where's Harper? No one knows where Harper has been. And so she says she hasn't seen Harper since they went to this music festival, I guess over the winter break.
Mhm.
Or whatever. So Harper comes in, she's got a new haircut, and Anne-Marie tries to talk to her, but the principal then sits her down. And so then the principal explains to all the students that everyone on this map, their parents will be contacted, and all unauthorized parties, all gatherings, all get-togethers amongst the young folks are not going to be happening. I don't know how they'll be able to, see whether they're throwing parties or not. I don't know how they'll be able to kind of, do whatever it is
Come
that they do.
together as one in a sexual nature.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid, but anyway. So after the assembly, the principal asked Anne Marie to come into her office to have a conversation with her, and so she's asking her specific questions about certain things on the incest map.
Whether or not
How do
it's
you
true and
Right? How do you know that this person is scissoring
and
this
what is
person
this?
and didn't use contraception when they were scissoring? And Amory's like, I don't think you need to use contraception when you're scissoring, but okay. And she asked, do you know if these people on this map are using contraception? Are they being safe?
I was
And
there.
Amory's like, I don't know, girl. Okay. And the principal's like, I know you did it, but I can't think that you did it by yourself. Was your Ace Boom Coon Harper in on it too? And of course, Amory does not rat Harper out.
Mm-mm.
And so then the principal tells Amory, one more F up and I will expel you. And did you also notice that the principal's dog is in the principal's office with her?
Yes,
Cute dog, but why is your
lady's
dog
weird.
with you at work? Like
This
what?
lady is she's different.
She's very different. That's a wonderful way to put it. She is very different. And so after Amory leaves the principal's office, she meets back up with Harper. They're going into the gym, and Amory's like, "Hey, hey, girl, what's going on? I haven't seen you since the festival. What's up?" And Harper is so dismissive of her. She doesn't want to talk to her. She doesn't want to have any communication with her. She's done with Amory. And Amory's like, what happened? What's going on? Why are you tripping? Like, what's the problem? And Harper's like, just get off. And they eventually begin to start fighting each other. And then
Yes.
Harper finally punches Amory dead in the nose. How did you feel about this scene? Amory obviously trying to say, "Hey, I didn't even rat you out about the map." You know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
Harper's
like, I
like, "I
didn't
didn't
ask
ask you
you to
to
do
do
that.
that." Right.
Let me tell you something. I this is why I am such a huge champion of communication.
Yes.
Okay? It's like, I really think it's stupid, like, if Harper was under the impression that Amory knew what she's doing or understood the issue that she has, do you believe that she really would be coming back to you as if everything is alright and not
Right.
leading with a girl, "I am so sorry for for the thing that I have done unto you." And I'm over
Whatever that
here
may be.
whatever it may be, but that's a problem though, because, like, it's difficult to see one person super, super teed off about whatever this other person did, and she's out here like, "What did I do?"
What did I do? Yeah, it's a little frustrating. But Amory falls down on the ground, and Quinny goes to try to maybe see if she's okay. She doesn't say anything to Amory, and then Amory sneezes in Quinny's face, and blood, and yeah, there's
And then she
that.
was in the nurse's office with a, tampon, sucking up the blood from her, bloody nose.
Her bloody nose, honey. Yeah. Anyway, so Emery gets back into the hallway, and she sees Sasha, Harper, and Missy at the lockers, and They go to walk away once they see Amory. And Amory, gets Sasha's attention, and she's like, "So, Sasha, you've picked your side already," saying that she's picked Harper's side because she obviously knows that there's a rift between the two. And Sasha's like, that map effed up everybody. That map is effing up relationships. You outed people because Ant wasn't out, who got a handy from
Mm-hmm.
Darren, so he wasn't out, and so you've outed people. You've broken up relationships, girl. You're this map is a mess. And then
I'm over here saying, I'm looking at the show like, but what did she do? That's all I'm thinking about. Like, yes, I get this is the issue, but girl, do you even know what happened? Because I'm trying to find out what happened. I know she don't know what happened. What happened?
between Harper and Amory. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
that's it. But how did you feel about Sasha kind of getting down on Amory for doing the map, even though Amory told her that Harper was in on it too? And then Sasha says, I really hate it when people don't take ownership of what they do. Did you agree with that statement?
I don't believe that Sasha believed that Harper had anything to do with any of it, which is why I believe she
Oh,
said that.
okay,
Like
that
she's
makes
just
sense.
throwing, she's just throwing her name in there just to kind of
Gotcha.
even out the blame. It's like, no, like it would have been better for Amory to say something to the effect of, I'm sorry, I didn't understand the gravity of what I was doing. I'm so sorry. I didn't know it would do this bad to everybody. But Sasha, she had the right to say what she had to say because she said she was trying very hard to build a relationship, a friendship with her ex-girlfriend, and now that's ruined. But then again, it's like, this is what you've done.
Yes, yes, it is. It's holding her accountable. That's what Sasha's doing right now. And so, then we see Quinny, our favorites, Quinny and Darren. They're leaving the school. Well, not leaving the school, but they're out in the foyer area
Mhm.
or the park area. And not Sasha, Quinny asked Darren what a lazy kebab is. That's what was written on the incest map. Apparently, this information was given by Spider. Spider, whose real name is Spencer. He's like the
Mhm.
a-hole of the whole of the whole school. Like nobody likes him, but he's got
Absolutely.
friends, and that's all the good. That's all that is. But Darren explains that it means a giant flaps, meaning her lady parts are, you know, accentuated, I guess, and then no, but before she asked him that, Marie had walked out in front of them, and Darren actually said, "I love to see toxic B words in their flop era." And Quinny immediately says, "That wasn't a nice thing for you to say." Do you like the way that Quinny kind of gets Darren in check here?
She's just a sweet girl. And I
She
don't think
is.
it's about putting him in check. It's about correcting the situation. And I think that's the same thing. But anywho, it's just about saying, hey, she's going through it. We've gone through it. And for you to go off on her in this way, it doesn't make anything any better. So
Right, exactly. That's true. That's very true. Quinny is very introspective. She's very
she's
introspective.
a
Very,
sweet tea, honey.
very much so. We're going to find out why later.
Oh
Um,
gosh, hush, hush, hush.
no, in this episode, girl, in this episode is what I'm referring to. I'll get to it. You'll understand why later. And so
Oh,
then Quinny says, "Well, Spider's never seen it, so Spider's just lying on my p word." Okay.
hmm
And so then we get all of the main characters getting called into this classroom by the principal. A
hmm
Marie, Harper, Sasha, Missy, Dusty, Spider, Darren, Quinny, Cash, and Malachi. They are all called
hmm
into this room
and
to.
and that's the new kid that popped up in the beginning. Yeah,
It
the
is. It
Malachi.
is the new kid, Malachi. And so Amory is called Matt B Word as soon as she walks in, walks into the classroom. And that's the actual title of this episode,
Episode,
Matt
yeah.
Bitch. And Cash is also called an eshe when he walks into the classroom. And this is a term that they use quite often throughout the show. And I assume that eshe, because I asked Google and Google didn't know because it's Aussie slang. This is the Australian television show.
hmm
And so I'm assuming that eshe means like someone who's like a criminal or someone who does bad things or something of that nature. But that's all I was picking up on.
Do you know how to spell it?
Eshay, Eshay.
Huh. Okay, slang. Okay, I'm googling it right now because now I'm curious.
Yeah, because it
ESH.
AY.
Go ahead.
And so also, A. Marie meets Malachi for the first time because, oh, go ahead.
Delinquent teenager.
The Delinquent Teenager. There you go. Okay, makes perfect sense.
I typed
And
it in as Aussie slang essay. That's how I did it.
gotcha. I need to be more specific when I ask Google my questions
Yes,
from now
like the
on.
ocean.
Yes. Okay. And so Emery meets Malachi for the first time. She's sitting next to him in this classroom. So the teacher of this new class, her name is JoJo. Her nickname is JoJo. I can't remember what her real name was, but she's an African American woman, beautiful braids.
She's not African American.
Oh yeah, not African American. She's a black.
She's a black
Aussie.
woman.
She's
Okay,
a black
yes.
Aussie. Yes.
Yes.
And so this particular course that they're taking in this class is called the Sexual Literacy Tutorial. And then Darren says, "Oh, okay, so you're calling us sluts then." So the nickname for this class is sluts.
Hilarious. And I know that the principal wasn't under the impression that she was naming the class in such a way, but oh no,
Right. Yes.
slut.
Much like on RuPaul's Drag Race, they always talking about charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. And I did not pick up on that till literally this year. Like literally,
Jonathan, no.
literally, I did not pick up on that until this year. And the only reason why
Oh.
is because they had they had a challenge that was
Mhm.
called the Charisma Nerve and Talent Show. And I was like, why did they take out the uniqueness? And then when I saw it all together, I was like, okay.
Jonathan, Lord have
Okay.
mercy. It
Yeah.
took you long enough. God bless you.
Yes. Yes, it does. Um, and so the class then, the principal asked JoJo, "Should we play the handshake game?" And the principal's and the JoJo's like, "No, I don't think that would be a good idea." And then the principal's like, "Hey, everybody get up! Everybody get up on your feet." And make sure you move the desk out and don't drag them along the floor. And they
As they
all
drag them along the
drag them
floor.
along the floor. And they play the handshake game. They all shake hands with one person, then three people. And then she says, "Spider, raise your hand." And Spider's reluctant to raise his hand. He's a rebel. This is raise your hand. And Spider raises his hand and she's like, "Okay, who shook hands with Spider? Who shook hands with them? Who shook hands with them? You all have General Crabs."
She said General Warts.
First she said crabs.
Crabs. She said
Then she
crabs
said
and
warts.
warts.
And then Malachi says, "I thought it was crabs." And then she said,
Like,
"Oh yes,
oh yeah,
yes, crabs."
crabs. You all have crabs.
And so the classroom session is over. That was
Oh,
basically
did you see that the whole class shook hands with everybody else but Marie? She's the only one that
but
didn't
A.
get nothing.
Marie. Yes,
And
no.
she said, "Congratulations."
Congratulations, Anne Marie. Yes, you're saving yourself.
Yay.
Good stuff. But yes, this was a demonstration of how STDs are spread throughout, and I thought it was a good exercise, to be honest, for a good teaching
Yeah.
moment,
It
almost
wasn't
as
too
if they
corny.
didn't. Right. Although as if they weren't aware of that. I'm not sure if they're aware of that. Um, they haven't given us any inkling that they're aware of STDs or anything like that, because so
Oh,
far they
okay.
haven't mentioned it at all. So maybe it was a good exercise for them. But anyway, so
But
they're out
I
of.
did want to say something though.
Go
This
ahead.
this is the time where the principal got on my nerves.
Oh, explain why.
Because she was stepping all over JoJo and what she was trying to do.
Yeah.
JoJo also mentioned that the information, the books that they had to teach these Charons on the hot relations, they were very much so dated. And
Yes,
it's like, to try to teach abstinence to somebody that's already having sex is rather counterproductive. We need to
absolutely.
teach them about protection and stuff like that. That's what she was trying to tell her. It's like, let's just go with what we got here. Yeah, and I just didn't like how she ignored JoJo, and JoJo looked like she was trying to actually make somewhat of a difference in the moment, take advantage of the time that they have now to talk about sex.
Right.
And Jo and the principal, she was just out there doing her own thing.
She was. She
I didn't like
was.
it.
And in that scene, that's the actually a scene later on when JoJo and the principal talk about the books. And there was a funny moment where the principal was like, "Go for it, JoJo, yo yo, Eric, yes." I'm sorry, I just
Once again, no, not for me.
I just thought it
No,
was she's just trying too hard in the best way,
way
and I just
too
love it.
hard. And I was looking at my cellular phone device like, all right.
Right. And so then we're out of class. And so Cash approaches Harper and asks her if she's okay. And she says, F right the F off. What was your reaction to her reaction to Cash? Asking her
Either
if she's
it's
okay.
him or she was around or he was around when that happened. Whatever happened. When that happened, maybe he was one of the people that didn't help her, or maybe he was around or something like that. Ask me at the end of the show what I think what I think will happen.
Okay, I will try to remember that though, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna remember to ask you, but I'll
Okay, I'll
try.
say it at the
I'll try
end.
to ask. I'll try to remember to ask you. So then, A. Marie is eating lunch in the stalls, in the bathroom stalls,
So
and
sad.
Quinny is in the stall next to her, and she was like, "Is this your 25th reason why?" And she was like,
No, it's the 13th reason why.
"Okay." I just put out a random number out there because I didn't remember exactly which number
Can
she
I tell you
used.
why?
Why?
Because there is a big show out on Netflix called My 13 Reason Why. And basically, I think it was a list. I didn't see it, but I heard it was a list of the reasons why this person unalived themselves. So the 13th
Okay,
reason was the last thing that, made that person go overboard and unalive themselves. That's why she
gotcha.
asked.
Gotcha. Okay, there you go. So context always helpful. And I'm gonna have to try to see if I can look that up and see that might be interesting to watch. But anyways, and so Amy Reed's like, oh, I can understand how you're feeling. You know, something happened to me back in the day too, and I was feeling the same way. And Amy Reed's completely like, rejecting her and everything that she
Do
says. And
you remember how that scene started out?
I don't necessarily remember how did it start out.
Quinn was taking a picture of her lady parts.
Yes, yes. Quinny was taking pictures of her lady parts, and then after she asked A Marie if this is her 13th reason why, she asked A Marie to look at her lady parts for her
Kindly,
for a confirmation of
please,
her
very
having big
large.
flaps, I guess. But anyways, Darren, we next see Darren in this dorm room, and he is unclothed. He does have on a jock strap, but other than that, that's all he has on. And he's kind of looking around the room, and he sees this uniform, and so he grabs this uniform and walks out, says hi to one of the boys that he walks past. So this must be the campus of another school that's in their
Mhm.
area where they
And it
wear
looks like a
uniforms.
somewhat of a boarding school,
That's what it
and
looks like. Young
this
Royals
was
Nest.
right before he was having right after hot relations that he was having. Lord have mercy. Go ahead,
Ye-
sorry.
And so he steals this uniform for a job interview. And so this is the second person that was actually in the original high school Heartbreak High. Darren's boss in this particular series was in the original
Hmm.
Heartbreak High. So he does an interview, and the reason why he used this uniform is because he wants to be seen as going to the school and where they do wear these uniforms, and not the school that he actually goes to, because the school that he actually goes to, those kids cannot apply for the job that he's having an interview for. Did you catch up on that?
I saw that. I thought it was just I guess the kids are looked down so much uh in that school. They were like, yeah, no, you can't work here, they're
Right.
delinquents. And
And
he kind of low-key spilled out why they don't want him. The way he was talking, he said something that was kind of like disrespectful, or just young
not
acting.
disrespectful, but just yeah, young sounding, not
Yeah.
necessarily with etiquette. And then he quickly
Yes.
changed his statement to
uh
something that was a little bit more proper. Um,
exactly.
And so then we get then we get Darren. Then we get Darren. Darren, they go home. Please correct me if I misgender Darren. Darren uses they them pronouns. They are what, what's it called?
But
When you use they them pronouns, non-binary.
oh,
Darren is
non-binary. Yeah.
non-binary, and so Darren's mother's boyfriend asked Darren, are you going to be around tonight? Because we got the boys coming in.
Ooh, child.
Darren's like, oh, so you don't want me to be here so that you don't get embarrassed. And then Darren's mother's boyfriend says he always overreacts with this thing. And then Darren takes the horn and says, blows the horn and says, they always overthink things. And they get into this whole conversation of, Darren's mother's boyfriend says, this whole pronouns thing, it doesn't make any sense. You can't be two people at the same time. And he clearly doesn't want to understand why non-binary people like to be addressed as they them, and I don't think he's willing to try to understand because he just thinks it's nonsense. What did you think of that scene and the fact that his mother wasn't more hard on her boyfriend for misgendering herself?
It is disgusting to me. Absolutely disgusting. And of course, I also, on top of that, feel like this is a hostile environment. And I feel sorry for Darren in this space. I hate it.
Yes.
I hate it.
Yeah. It's and so the thing is, like, his mother seems like a really nice woman, but it seems like she puts the men before her child. At least in my opinion, that's what it was kind of saying to me. Did you pick up on that as well, or were you not thinking that way?
Say that again?
I said it seems like his Darren's mother, their mother, seems like a really really nice lady. Like there seems to be like nothing necessarily wrong with her, but it seems like she's putting her men before her child.
Seems like.
Oh, okay. There you go. All right. So I thought you might have picked up on that as well. So then we see Harper. She's giving thanks at this dinner table with this family. We don't know
Mm-hmm.
who the family is. We don't know why she's there, but
Nope.
she is there nonetheless.
And it's not the person that Anne Marie went to see.
Right. It wasn't her father.
No.
Wasn't her father. It's not her own family. And so Darren returns Jacob's uniform. That's the person that they had a little rendezvous with. Okay. And Darren asks if he can stay over, if they can stay over Jacob's place because Darren's mother has asked them to not be at the home, or Darren's mother's boyfriend has asked them not to be over
Child.
at the house at that time. And so Jacob says, well, considering you stole my uniform and you got something else of mine, then that'll be a no. And
The
then
little
Darren's,
cat thingy. The little it was like a golden little cat. Not white
yes,
little cat little thingy.
the white cat thingy. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
exactly. And so as Darren leaves the dorm room, he said, okay, well, your room smells like, cum socks and Frito farts. Yeah, that was that.
And had everybody come out their room.
Corn chip farts. That's exactly what he said. Corn chip farts.
Lord.
And so Marie, we see she's in her room and she's watching a tutorial of how to cut your own bangs. And I watched a couple of people react to this, and everybody, almost everyone every girl that I saw watching this said, no, no. Why is it that these reactors were saying no, Jennifer?
The reason why, Jonathan, first of all, bangs. When you cut them and you get it wrong, number one, a lot of times there's no going back. Number two, it's it just seems like it just doesn't really turn out right as often as you'd like for it to.
Right.
And hers, child,
To
she
me, it really didn't look as bad as they maybe wanted to perceive it as.
but
Not that
they
I
were
would want to
so
go.
heavy. It
They
just
were
it
very
it
heavy.
was not a good look, Jonathan.
They were extremely heavy.
Ooh, child.
You think she pulled too much hair to the front?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's mostly, especially when you starting off with bangs, you gotta start off wispy. Wispy.
Yes.
Not the whole front. Okay.
Like almost half a head down
Yeah,
here.
like, come on, what are we doing here?
So then we see Darren. Darren is at work, and Darren says to a customer, "Extra sweet and sour sauce for a sweet and sour customer. Have a good day." Yeah, good. The gays are always good with the customer service, honey. We always will ace the customer service every single time. And so we see Cash. He's hanging out with his crew, his gang or whatever. How do you feel his homies? How do you feel about Cash's haircut? Because he seems to have the same haircut as his delinquent counterparts.
Um, you know, it's
It's
okay
not
for
a
his
haircut that
dad.
I don't think I've ever seen. It's like a smaller mullet, like a mullet without the hang time.
It's just it's a little different. It fits his head. He has a big head, so it does, I guess, help to have the hair come like more up like that.
Right.
Hey, here's a haircut
Yeah.
for a bad boy.
For a bad boy, he is a bad boy. And so there, Cash then goes to reach in to grab an order, and Darren's like, wait a minute, no freebies. You don't get no free food up in here, my. I was about to say my N word, honey. My
Ooh.
my brother. And he was like, it's mine. I'm a delivery driver. He's like, oh, really? I didn't know you were a delivery driver. He was like, yeah, I run a special on Thursdays, extra ketamine for every family order. He was like, are you serious? Ketamine being a narcotic.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, no, but that alludes to something that we'll find out a little bit later on. And so then he tells, and then Darren, they tell Cash to tell everyone that he goes to this other school so that he doesn't get found out that he goes to where they
Mm-hmm.
go.
Because he needs a little change in his pocket.
Right. And so then after Cash goes away, Darren then sees Amarie. Amarie had just been in the restaurant with her mother and they were talking. It feels as though Amarie asked her mother if she could homeschool her or something of that nature.
Yes.
But anyway, so Darren is looking at Amarie. He's like, oh, not the bayang. The bayang. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yes.
Mm-mm. Not the
He's
thing.
not the bayang. And so then he approaches Amarie. He's like, girl, you want me to fix that? Because that's a mess right there. And she
And she,
obliges.
she humbly like, yeah, it
um,
needed
and,
it.
Right, exactly. And so Darren and Quinny, and Amarie, they're on this rooftop. Amarie and Quinny, they're sitting in shopping carts, and Darren is like, what's going on with you and Harper? Why are you guys not friends anymore? What's happening? And Amarie's like, I don't know what happened. We went to this music festival, and then all of a sudden she's upset with me, and then Darren asks, what's her birthday? And Amarie
Mhm.
responds, November 21st. She's like, oh, Scorpio, no wonder, child. And so then we find out that Amarie's a Virgo, Darren is an Aquarius, and Quinny is a Libra. This is the reason why we love
Okay,
Quinny.
Jonathan.
Girl, you overreacting, thinking I'm giving away something. I've
Oh my
learned my lesson,
gosh.
okay? Get off
Okay,
my
I'm a
back,
hush. I'll get off your back and I'll leave you
please.
alone. I do apologize in front of all of our friends, family, and loved ones. My bad.
Like Alyssa Edwards said, yes, all of my friends, family, and fans out there. Okay, yes, how dare you? The nerve, honey. And so then Quinny suggests they do scream therapy. So they scream out their troubles. Amarie says, "My best friend dumped me." Darren says, "I'm a reject." Quinny says, "I have a whatever, whatever, whatever," pertaining to her lady parts, whatever. And
Yeah.
so Darren asked Amarie if she's going to the cemetery party. And so
And the way they
Amarie,
ask it, are you going to cemetery? That's it. That's just all they're saying.
and it seems like this might be a regular meeting place for them. Like this
Yeah.
seems like something that they do on the regular. And so Darren, Quinny, and Amarie, they all go to the cemetery. And then
Together.
yes, all together. I love Darren's outfit, the white top, and kind of cut off in the middle. It's
And
got strings.
even though Amy Reed went in there reluctantly for sure.
Yeah, she did. But yes, I love Darren's wardrobe for the most part. For the most part. And so Malachi approaches Amarie. He's like, "Hey, girl, what's going on?" And Amarie's like, "Everybody's looking at me." And Malachi's, "Nah, everybody's looking at me." And then Malachi takes to the dance floor, shows off his smooth moves and whatnot. But how do you feel about Malachi so far in this series?
Malachi is very sweet. He caught my eye in the beginning, as he caught Anne Marie's eye in the beginning as well. But he seems like a really sweet dude, and I'm also still questioning. That's another big question for me right now. Why is Malachi in that room with all them people that's in the slut class?
I'm not sure if he explained it in this episode or the second episode, but he does explain it. But I don't remember him explaining it in this particular episode. But he does explain why. Do you want me to tell you?
Nope.
Okay. All right. And so then we see Cash selling Sasha some drugs. They, you do the handshake with the drugs in one hand, the money in the other hand.
It's
You
a
swap
loaded
it, and
handshake.
right, exactly. And so now we know that Cash is selling drugs on the side. And so then Quinny approaches Spider, Mr. Spencer, and hands him a book, a binder full of vaginas, all vaginas, vaginas. That she goes to school him on the different types of vaginas. And Spider's like, I've seen plenty of vaginas. What are you talking about? Like, no. But then Quinny was like, but you've never seen my vagina. So I'm thinking because you lied about seeing my vagina, you're probably lying about seeing other vaginas too. So, it is what it is.
You're
Quinny,
welcome.
but when I tell you that was a read, honey, and Quinny
Yeah,
didn't
it
even know
was.
it, honey,
She
that
did. She
was
didn't even know it. She's so sweet.
okay. Because she's trying to help him out. That's the
You're
thing. She's
welcome.
trying to educate the
Because
man.
you are apparently vagina-less. Let me help you. Let me assist you in these spaces.
Okay.
Mm, mm,
Child.
mm, mm.
And I'll
She
have
did
something to
that.
say about I'll have something to say about Spider at the end of the season. I really will have something to say about Spider
Okay.
at the end of the season. And so after Quinny schools Spider on the vaginas, he gives her some really mean comment. I can't even remember exactly what he said. I think he said, "Why would I want to do something with you?" or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
He ain't
some to that
right.
effect.
He
Yeah.
ain't nothing but the hater. But anyway, so then we see Darren. Darren, they approach Cash, and for some reason, Darren is calling Cash Adelaide, Adlay. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
exactly sure why they're calling Cash Adelaide. I don't know if that's a term of endearment or some type of other nickname that he has for him. I don't know what it is, but he calls him Adelaide. And he asks Cash why Cash is still at school. He was like, you flunked out, you failed, you've repeated.
Mm-hmm.
And Cash is like, I got my reasons. And Darren's like, okay, okay,
All
whatever.
right. Okay. Live your life.
All right, and so then Dusty approaches Anne Marie and asks her, "Why were we on that map together?" And Anne Marie goes into her gibberish. She really can't get her words together, and he
Cause
keeps
she
walking.
crushing.
Okay, she keeps walking, and she tells him, I had a crush on you, like when I was a baby. Well, not really when I was a baby, but when and and as she's uh, regurgitating all of this nonsense, he's walking closer and closer and closer to her, and then he kisses her out of the blue. What did you think about him kissing her in this moment?
Well, I mean, when you find out somebody like you, hey, let's get to it. Why not? Because of course she ain't gonna do nothing about it.
Well, all she gonna do is give in, honey. That's all she gonna be doing.
But I'm just saying, like, she's not going to be forward about any of it. So you have to take the step. That's what I'm saying.
That's true, yeah. Because if he didn't do it, she shown up wasn't gonna do it. So, anyways, Amory finds Harper in between these two tombstones. She's using the bathroom or whatever. And Amory once again asks Harper what's
A
going on,
searing question, like,
what's
come
happening, like
on,
why are you mad at me? And
over
then
it.
Harper asked her about her bangs, and Harper's like, and then Amory's like, I was having a rough day. I was going through it, girl. And then Harper goes to tell Amory, everything is not about you. It's not all about you. Everything, the world doesn't revolve around you. Again, she's being very vague in her responses to Amory, not letting her know exactly why she's upset with Amory. But anyways, so then we see Darren. He sneaks into their no, Darren. They sneak into their father's house. Darren's father comes up with what will look like a paddle.
Or
To me,
something.
I don't
He
know
was
what
ready
you're
to
gonna do.
get into it now.
He was ready to get with it.
Like,
And
does anybody want to give Darren a key, or like, what's up? What's really going on?
I guess not. But
Because this is our second, third time seeing him going through windows. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
it is. And so, but they're really good at it though.
Yeah, yeah.
They're very nimble.
Oh.
Um, but Darren just says, "Hey, Dad," and then walks to their room or whatever. Darren, Amory, and Quinny actually left the party a little early. So
Yes.
then the cops kind of break up the party. We don't actually see the cops, but we hear the sirens. And so Harper and Dusty, they jump over this fence, and Harper kind of scrapes up her arm. And
Mhm.
Dusty's like, "Hey, are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I just scraped my arm up." And he's like, "Come with me." And so they'll then go running into the night holding hands.
Holding hands. Yeah.
What were your thoughts on them running out holding hands?
That's who he's gonna get with. That's what I said. That's who he's gonna get with. And okay, can I tell you my is this the last part?
I got one more thing to say. The last thing I have to say is someone created a new map, and it illustrates to us that Dusty has gotten with Harper in an intimate way, in an intimate manner. So
Mhm.
go ahead and say what you were going to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what happened. Dusty got with Ogura or whatever, and I didn't. For some reason, I didn't put it in my head that somebody else created a new map to keep up with this. I was thinking that this is just something that they did for production sake or something.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't know, but we'll figure that out. But I believe that's just going to be another rift in between Harper and Amory because Amory love him, and
Right. How do you think Anne is going to react to this news?
she's gonna be crushed.
Yeah. Yeah,
She's
she
gonna be
is.
crushed. And then at least she finally have a reason to be upset at Harper, but still,
Right.
it'll still be a main issue because we don't know what happened in the first place. And I feel in my Shondo of Shondos, it's going to be kind of trivial, like saying that you should have been there when you weren't. Like, how is she supposed to know? That's what I kind of think is happening, or maybe she overheard a conversation of her talking about it. But I don't think that's the case because look, they were having so much fun at that music festival. So
Indeed. It
I'm gonna do
did.
my best not to try to figure it out, but I'm gonna keep on watching.
Right. Keep on watching. So that's all we have for episode 1 of Heartbreak High. You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_speaks 3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is williamjonathanlee@gmail.com. I do have my own YouTube channel. It is JoJo Speaks. Find me on YouTube. I post videos every Thursday night at 9:30 with hot topics and social commentary with my co-host, Genesita, who's here with me tonight, as well as uh, my brother-in-law Tyrone and our good friend Mike. So join us on Thursday nights at 9:30. JoJo Speaks on YouTube. Subscribe, like, share, comment, post the notification bell, all that good stuff.
And of course, I am the light of the Leo. You can follow me on Instagram as well as TikTok on at the light of the Leo. And of course, I do have this YouTube channel here, the light of the Leo. If you're trying to look for it, just type in the @ sign, the light of the Leo with no spaces, and you'll find me immediately. Well, I thank you guys so much for joining us. This is a new ride that we're going on with Heartbreak High. Continue to enjoy your time with us. Please put in the comments what you're thinking about these things. And yeah, we'll make sure to answer in all those good things. Now I'm done. Let me go ahead and start this recording. Hold, please.